Hi, everyone. So good to see anyone who is here. And if you are not catching this live, you are absolutely going to love this amazing conversation. I am here with Linda Buckman, who is out of San Francisco, California. And we had met through a very powerful women's network of entrepreneurs and women who are in this growth mindset and really wanting to go for more and are being very, very creative about it. And we actually, I think we crossed paths virtually. We were supposed to meet each other at the summit in person, and of course, everything turned virtual. But it has just been incredible watching you, Linda, because you are such a beacon of fashion for me. You have such an incredible eye for color and styles and how those styles really complement women. And I'll let you go ahead and properly introduce yourself, and we'll go from there. But so
Great.
grateful to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Diana. It's really terrific to see you. And it's been exciting to follow everything that you're doing too. I've been sharing your stuff. I know you had that children's workshop, and I shared it with my stepdaughter for her kids because they were so bored, being stuck in the house that she needed some new things for them to do. So I shared that with her. And I love what you're doing with your designs. It's a very exciting thing to see as well. Such an incredible entrepreneur that you are. Okay, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Linda Buckman, and I've been a personal stylist for 20 plus years, helping women look and feel fabulous in their clothes. And starting such a long time ago, there certainly was in the style world a certain protocol for how you help a woman get dressed and how you help her define her style and how you help her know what works for her body. And all of those things were very segmented together. So we had these very good basic style protocols. You're an elegant, you're a sporty, you're a classic, you're a feminine, you're dramatic, these general style words that we would use to try and pinpoint style. And then we talked about body, and the body part of it for me, I always had trouble with because we were making women's shapes and we were comparing them to inanimate objects like apples and pears and rectangles and all of that. And for me, I just knew that there was just so much more to this, and it didn't really work. I noticed, standing next to so many women as they look at themselves in the mirror, knowing that the first thing they see is what they don't like, and seeing the look on their face that they believe their bodies were truly flawed. And this really upset me. So that set into motion about a 15-year project to come up with something new and different that would help empower women in their bodies, embrace their bodies, and get to know who they are more. I run a little challenge in my Facebook group. It's called Stellar Beauty Society, and it's called the You Are Beautiful Challenge. And in the beginning, we talk about what makes a woman beautiful. And if we really think about that, we can define beauty in our own way as women, but we're faced with a definition that we've had for centuries, and especially the last century, right? That being thin and being fit is the ideal, that you have to look a certain way and behave a certain way to be considered beautiful. And I don't know if that upsets you, but boy, that gets under my skin.
I definitely go and stand in front of a mirror, and the first thing that comes to my mind, okay, I think I'm pear-shaped. So the first thing that really strikes me is, all right, got to work on those hips. We have to make sure that the balance is right, and that the belly doesn't, protrude too much. And of course, with styles shifting so much, they are. What I'm finding is that a lot of times they're completely misaligned with women's bodies, and the fact that certain looks great on some people, but it definitely does not look good on others.
Correct. Yes, I even have an ad that has a picture of a pear This was from the 1950s. And it's an advertisement for the little fibber bra and the shaper girdle that women were wearing, you know, even just 70 years ago. All women were wearing girdles to push in their hips. And the ad says, "This is no shape for a girl." And that was, you know, from the 50s and 60s. So I believe that, you know, this language that we've been using in the style world is just really dated as a phone book, and that we need something fresh with which to define ourselves. And so I took about 10 years to study and hold women's groups on this planetary body type system. I discovered it. It's very ancient, of course, and it's woven its way through history. The ancient Egyptians called these 7 planetary types the 7 divine principles. And I was just so fascinated with it that the more I looked into it, the more that I saw that it covered this full range of female diversity. And the reason I call my group Stellar Beauty is that we are redefining beauty, so that it is the woman who loves her body like a best friend, and it includes everyone from the very curvy, full woman to the really straight line and structured woman. And that's us. We're so diverse as women. We've got it all. So that began the journey for me of helping women to realize that their bodies are very connected to who they are on the inside. They're not just a shape, and that our bodies are these vessels that express our gifts and express who we are. So that is, you know, what I've been very, very involved in. I have a book written. It hasn't found a home yet, but you know, I'm hoping that this will be the year that the book comes out. And it is, again, I think just as women, for us to appreciate ourselves first and really embrace our bodies is step number 1. And step number 2 is for us to embrace the diversity of beauty and of women. And I think I've found a way to do this that's fresh and new. And the other thing that's come out of this, Diana, is that when you ask a woman what is her style, like if you were to describe, you have probably a very strong sense of what your style is. What words would you use to describe your style?
That's a very excellent question. I think what I typically do is try to accentuate what I think is working in my body, and hide things that don't. I don't know if there's a particular word for it. It's a mixture of sporty and casual chic, I guess. So things that can go both in terms of your day look, running around doing errands, but can easily transfer to a night look. I don't know if that makes sense, or if that's what you were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's a question we could ask anyone, right? And it's a little bit, it's a little bit harder to just come out with, oh, here's my style. And I think a lot of that is that the true expression of our style comes from who we are on the inside. So knowing who we are on the inside helps us to be authentic. And in my group, we're sort of looking at the idea of beauty as authenticity. So how do you know yourself? And this system of types goes into who you are and why you are the way you are, as well as helps you embrace your body. So that if you are a creative type, which I know you and I both are, we love to look unique, right? We don't really like to wear something that everybody else is wearing. And that's something that makes us distinct. And we like to do that with our clothes. There is one of the 7 types, and she is the solar type, the goddess of light, and she's also in the real world, the creative. So it is absolutely essential that she wear things that have meaning, that she wear things that are different, that she plays with print on print or plays with different textures and has this look that helps her feel her uniqueness, which is very special, her creativity. And then along with that solar woman there are particular physical characteristics that you can pick up on. So a solar woman typically has this light. She's lights up when she smiles. Her whole face lights up. Her eyes sparkle. She has this positivity about her. She's about elevating people, bringing the light to the world, inspiring others. And that's what's behind the things that she does. That's what inspires her. She can be a muse. And I'm sure in your life, you've been a muse to people in your family, to women that you work with and design for, that you inspire them. And so in this type, the solar type is this sort of real woman who has these gifts, has a particular desire for her style, and is faced with certain challenges, as we all are. So they're like real women that actually really love their bodies and live in the world expressing themselves through their bodies. And they are archetypes that are good examples for us as women to help empower us.
That is so incredible. You know, I never thought about this connection between what's inside versus what's outside, and the fact that we look in accordance with who we are on the inside. How did you find all of this whole treasure trove of planetary body types, which you guys, I absolutely recommend. Linda does webinars on a monthly basis about the planetary body types, and I'll let you speak about it some more, but I'm just really curious as to how did you find this? What started the journey for you? How did it start?
Yes, I'll tell you just briefly. It was many years ago, but I think that it started from this, what we spoke about in the beginning, this frustration of, well, here we have the style protocol, but it doesn't seem to be really helping women feel good about their bodies. So what can I do about it? And I had to go outside of the normal, industry really to find something that then I could use. But the discovery of these planetary types came through me showing a picture to a spiritual man who looked at his picture and said, oh, he has the kingly leadership of a Jupiter and the fiery courage of a Mars. And I'd never heard that explained. I'd never heard anybody described as a planetary type before. But then as he began to talk, he really just described my brother in such a way that I was floored by it. He was so accurate. And so that's how I found out about it. And then, of course, I went back to find out about me. What are my types? And I was told that I had both a feminine, the solar part of me, and I had the masculine side, which is the Mars part of me. And Mars is the warrior woman. And she's, got the broad shoulders and the small hips and long torso, short legs, athletic. She's actually sort of in history right now, the popular type, because they change. But when I learned that I was a Mars, I had no idea that I was really a warrior woman. And, it was just like, oh,
it must
wow.
be so empowering, right?
Yes. So I started living like a Mars woman, the woman who is a truth teller and a trailblazer. And I also realized that being a stylist and helping women look beautiful and being creative is such wonderful joy for me, but I needed a mission. And I've learned that the Mars woman, she has to have a mission in life, right? Where she's really an activist and wants to change things. And so once I found out mine, then I said, okay, now I have to know about all 7. And I went through a journey of learning about these types for years and started writing them in this book. And now I teach these programs. So I have a 4-month program where you learn your types and you learn your gifts, purpose, lessons, relationships, all of these really good, juicy things that we want to know about so that we can communicate effectively and we can be happy and empowered in our lives. And it's just blossomed from there.
This is so incredible. So we are always 2 different planetary body types, right? As from what I understand, or can it Is it always two, or sometimes is it just one?
Yeah, I would say definitely two. There are no rules in the system. So, you're not put in a box. You get to decide. But how we determine them is we look at three things. We look at your facial characteristics, the structure of your face, and included with that is the energy that comes through your eyes, your tone of voice, your animation, how you express yourself. And then there's neck down, the body. And it also has very much to do with your frame and your structure, but also how you move, how you walk, what your energy is in your body. Some women are very quick and they move their hands and they talk when they talk. Some are very more deliberate and slower and more careful in the way that they deliver what they want to say. And then the third thing is the inner temperament. So this is who you are on the inside. What are your needs and wants? What are your perspectives? What do you love? And that gets kind of put into the analysis of who you are. And as far as I know, I don't think there's a system that includes the personality and the body. So here we have this ability to be able to look at someone and pick up on some physical clues that give us an insight into who they are on the inside. And I have been able to, through all these years, be able to connect the two, how your body is connected to who you are on the inside.
This is so fascinating. I so love what you're doing. And being an artist, obviously I know about this connection between mind and body, and the fact that we're able to bring out into this world what it is that we have inside of us. But to take this even one step further, which is I think what you're doing, and translate what's on the inside to the way we present ourselves and dress ourselves, is a whole other game. So tell us about the webinar. I know there's one coming up very shortly.
Yes.
And I'm going to do my best to make it.
Yes.
I absolutely want everybody to find out about it, because I can't wait to. I have a feeling that I'm definitely solar based on what you're describing.
Yes.
But I'm very hopeful that I am a Mars as well, because it's just so fascinating and empowering to be that woman with a mission.
Yes, that's right. And each of them have so many gifts. I mean, what I've done is I've designated 5 gifts for each type. So there is a primary where you feel like, yeah, that's just really me. I'm at home there. And by the way, you're born with these types. So they're there always. And you can evolve towards certain gifts of ones that maybe you haven't incorporated into your life fully yet. So there's always room for growth, right? And generally speaking, I do begin with the yin-yang concept, which I love. The yin-yang concept is the masculine and the feminine. And the feminine is usually the curved woman, curved features, and more takes the energy in and reflects it back. And the yang is more the straight or angled lines in the body, the structure and the face, and is pushing energy out to the world. So that very basically, that's kind of the foundation of where we start. And in the webinar, if you sign up for the webinar, you get an ebook. So this is a 22-page ebook that talks about the planetary types, and it allows you to go through all 7 and pick what you think you might be. So for example, this is the Saturn woman. And you see, Diana, I thought you'd appreciate how I've dressed them up in clothes. And I had these illustrations done. So this is the Saturn woman, and she's tall and straight line, and she's very young. She's the most young, and she looks terrific in menswear. So when you get the ebook, there's little check boxes that you can go through: your face, the body, and the inner temperament. And then on the next page are famous women, and also the style protocol for these types. You also get with the webinar a 30-minute consultation with me. So during the webinar, I do live analysis, and we go through the types together, so you have a really good general idea of the story of each of them. And then you get a 30-minute consultation afterwards, where we can really determine more about your types. Sometimes it's not always obvious, because there's maybe part of us that we haven't really gotten to know yet. And so what I find is that this is all a discovery process of, oh, yeah, that's me. Oh, yeah, I understand why I need that particular thing or why I want this thing or that thing. And everything really comes together. So the webinar I'm doing this month is on the 26th of March, and I invite all of you to attend that. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you register for it. It's $59, and you get the ebook and the consultation with me. So we can post something here for everybody to get the registration link if they're interested.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Definitely do that. We'll do that in the comments. And I just have to say, in terms of strengths, I did a really wonderful strengths finder, Gallup strengths finder exercise. And what it does is it also walks you through and outlines what your 5 main strengths are. And what has been very, very interesting for me is that what you should be doing on your kind of day-to-day routine is that you should be spending 90% of your energy in your strengths. And the fact that I now know what those strengths are has been so detrimental in keeping me motivated, in keeping me productive, and keeping me empowered, because I know that I am exactly where I need to be. So I just love the fact that you are connecting what we look on the outside to who we are on the inside. I just think that, and I also completely agree with the male and the female energy that all of us bring into this world. And it's fascinating how some of us have, regardless of whether we're male or female, some of us have more female energy, which is very receptive and welcoming, and just that energy that holds space. And there is also that male energy in all of us, which is all about taking action and being forward and completing and checking things off the list. And I definitely think that a lot of times people like entrepreneurs, which I know I have a lot of on my feed, are very much in their male energy most of the time. And including myself. And we don't really allow ourselves time to just be and to rest and to enjoy that receptive female energy where so it's lovely how you talk about the yin and yang and how the two need to be balanced out and interconnected. It's just absolutely.
Yes. Oh, you said that so beautifully. Can I quote you? That was very nice. Yeah. And just to add to that a little bit is that often we find we have both and they want different things. And so that you can feel this sort of internal conflict. You know, do I rest? Do I do? Do I, take action and slave away and work all day because I need to get this done? Or is it better for me to be more receptive and tune into my intuition? And both are, both are very important. And in the program, we learn how to blend them because they're, it's sort of, sometimes we have this conflict going on inside of us, but actually it just means that we've got gifts on both sides and that we can access them whenever we want to. And for me, my Mars on one shoulder and my solar on the other, they really wanted different things. And I was very confused in the beginning. I had the Mars just saying, you've got to get out there and do it no matter what, never give up, push, 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 which is a wonderful energy to have that drive. But then the solar part of me wanting to delight in things, wanting to see beauty, wanting to create, very different energy. And really, this is about bringing those together so that you feel complete and you're living in your gifts, because I agree with you completely. If you're living in your gifts fully, there's no way you can't be happy because you're empowered with who you are. And your gifts are for you to enjoy first and then to give to others. So it really is about being empowered and feeling really good inside and in your body, and being at home in your body.
Yeah, and we absolutely cannot ignore the elephant in the room, which is the fact that we've gone through a whole year of isolation and the pandemic, and
Right.
everybody's just been under a lot of pressure and overwhelm, and there's tremendous burnout out there, because our balance, our work-life balances had completely shifted and probably don't really exist for a lot of us. And I I find that when I am in this constant go, go, go energy, at some point there's that peak of overwhelm. And that is when I know that I need to get
Mm.
to the studio. I need to be in a space where I can just let the energy flow through and I can let my emotions out and just be. And I really hope that all of us are going to be able to see this need for balance
Yes.
between healing ourselves with male versus female energy, regardless of what gender you actually are. It
Correct.
right is it
Yes. And that's so beautiful because I do think you hit a key word, and that's balance. Finding balance. I mean, even in our clothes, right? Like you were saying in the beginning, we kind of know what makes our body feel balanced. And if our proportions, say your upper body's longer than your lower body, there are things you can do with fashion to visually lengthen your legs. That's just one example, right? We know that there are things that we can do to broaden the shoulders to balance with the hips. But generally, it just makes us feel balanced when our body is balanced in clothes. And I think that's true for everything, finding the balance and embracing both sides, welcoming both sides, and then being able to make a decision from deep within of what the best thing is for you to do. If it's to be in receptivity and listen to your intuition, or if it's to get on the phone and get going or develop a program, that those things are all possible. And I think when we find that right blend, then life takes on a flow rather than
and
a push pull sort of a sensation.
right, and you're not feeling like you're in this constant grit mode, right? Things actually flow organically and they come to you, and they're so much easier to
Mm-hmm.
accept and to do because you are creating things out of balance as opposed
And
to.
I think it's wonderful that you have a place to go. I have a feeling that you might have a little lunar in you, Diana.
We'll have to see.
Lunar is there's a softness about Lunar. She is very feminine. Turn to the side. Let's look at your profile for a second. Yeah, I love that your forehead has this smooth roundness to it, which is a lunar quality, and the soft round eyes. And Lunar is very, very intuitive, and she does need time to decompress every day. She needs time to be alone. It's very important for her because she goes so deep with things. She takes in all the energies around her. She feels everything, and so it just makes sense that she needs that time to just be. And so I think it's lovely that you are giving yourself that, and that when it's like, okay, it's time for me to go to my studio and let things be and just soak it all up rather than staying in this constant driving doing mode.
Yeah. And I definitely think that more of us need to get in touch with our creativity and our ways of accessing creativity, be that in the way that we dress or having incredible art in our homes or even the offices that sooner or later we're going to be returning to. You want to be part of a space where you feel energized and you can focus and be productive and be creative. And that is one of the big projects that I'm working on right now is putting together proposals to various corporations and museums about creating immersive art rooms where people could escape
Oh,
to during a lunch hour and just be with
Beautiful.
and tune out. And I'm just a strong believer in the healing powers of art, and being exposed to art, be it fashion or visual or performing arts. And I think after this year of really, really tricky transitions and pivoting and stretch, we need to be able to dissolve into beautiful things, right?
I love that. I just think that's going to be a hit. I really believe we're moving into more of a yin century, that women in the last century had to get their power. They had to, vote. They had to get into the world as working, and felt like they needed to compete with men and, get in there and have some equality. And we're seeing more and more of that. And I think that moving into the more yin side of our human nature is what we're going to need in the future. So, having this ability to be able to be in a workplace and also rest and think and absorb and be refilled is a fantastic idea. I love that. I think that's great.
Thank you. I'm pitching my pilot program to Google next week, so we shall see what happens with that. And if anybody else wants to hear about it, I'm happy to forward on a video that I did on this topic, and just any kinds of brochures and information about what art does to our psyche and how we change and heal and are able to transition within our journeys. But I know that everybody is busy, and the day is young, especially in your side of the world. So lots coming up, and I wanted to thank you so much for being here. I absolutely love what you do, and I cannot wait for that webinar. I'm gonna try to kick my kids to do something else so I could participate finally.
Right. Yeah, 4:00. Are you 3 hours difference? I think you are, right?
Yes.
So hopefully they'll be in bed or going to bed or something, and you can join in.
Things have shifted in terms of our time frames during the pandemic.
Yes.
I hope I'm busy with something so I could participate.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you for having me on. And, I could talk about this all day because I have such a passion for it. But it's really wonderful to see how women are transforming and how they are coming into balance and how they are embracing their bodies and just dumping the whole idea of a standard of beauty, out the, kick it to the curb, like a bad first date. It's old, it's dated. It's, we don't have to look like a certain thing or a certain way anymore. We get to define our beauty, and we're really moving into that as women. And it's very exciting, whether you're a size 20 or a size 2, whether you're curvy or straight, whether you have an outgoing personality or you're a little softer and quieter. All of this is speaking to the grand diversity of women. And that is what makes us powerful. And that's what makes us beautiful, is that diversity.
You're absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It's so lovely to see you here. And to new beginnings, right? It's all just starting for us.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, thank you.
Bye, everyone.